Well, hello. Welcome to our little shop. Here we are. It's a Monday. And it's bass time. Customer brought this bass in over the weekend. Let me take a look at it. He's wanting to do some recording with it. He's having so many problems he can't use it. So, let's take a look at what we've got going on here. First of all, I'm going to point out one of my pet peeves here. And let me say this bass is borrowed from a bass player by a guitar player to do some recording with. So the bass player has been using it this way anyway. But anyway. Again, here's one of my pet peeves. Guys, jeez. If you're going to buy strap locks, at least put them on the strap. Okay? That doesn't help a whole lot. So now, moving on. The strap's got to come off first thing. So, looking around here, first thing we ran into was a huge bow in the neck. This guitar probably had a 32 of an inch bow in the neck. So we rough adjusted it this weekend when it came in just to see how it reacted. And I've given it all weekend to settle, so we're actually in pretty good shape there, so I can actually start on the rest of the bass. Let's look at this. Check out our string alignment. We're going to have to laterally shim this neck. Looks like his bass has been through a little bit of abuse too. The pick guard apparently came from something else. You see a big chip out of it back here where the truss rod adjustment access hole was. And the truss rod on this bass is a tad stock. So we definitely have a different neck than what was used to this pick guard originally. The bass is scrungy, which gets us into a few other things. Found back here that the spacing, when someone put this Leoquan bridge on and they filed these slots for the strings, the spacing's off. There's not a whole lot I can do about that. What we've got is these two are way too close together though. So what I'm going to do is try to move this saddle over here to try to make up for some of that. Hopefully we can pull that off where it's not too bad. Right now, the strings are about a 36 of an inch, 16th of an inch too close together. Along with the scrunch factor, we've got a few other things going on here. Various electronics problems. Pan pot knob is loose. Apparently it just comes off. Pan pot's dirty too. Jack has some issues. Which is one of the reasons he brought it in. He said the electronics was cutting out so bad he couldn't use it. But this bass is a mess. Looks like it's had a good bit of abuse. Got a couple of dings here and there. Back here's a nasty one to paint. It's just waiting to fall off of. But anyway. So let's see if we can turn this into a functional bass for this guy to do his session with. Let's get it on. Well, the first step we have here in our plan is to clean the electronics. So we can actually run the thing through a tuner and through an amplifier to check it all out. Then we find a knocked apart pot here. I've already cleaned the output jack. It was nasty. So we're going to try to put this pot back together, clean it. We can't clean this one, it's sealed. Clean the other two, tighten everything up, get the electronics going. Hopefully we can get by with that. after trying to clean the output jack several times, the ground for the battery connection refuses to clean up to be consistently reliable, so we're going to be replacing it with a brand new Switchcraft stereo jack. And it's probably not a bad idea because this really doesn't look like it was soldered that well to start with. So we're going to clean all of that up. We did manage to get the pot back together here for this. And we've got all this taken care of. So our electronics will be okay as soon as we get this jack replaced. Alright. Well, we've got that taken care of. What seemed like an eternity was only like 30 minutes worth of work. But we've got the jack all taken care of. Got the pots all taken care of. We even had to plug and re-drill the screws for the jack plate. Kind of comes with the territory. Usually I'll find a lot of brutalized stuff on basses. Funny story, a bass player I used to work with in a music store, actually one of the best bass players I've probably ever known. His main tool for driving screws was a hammer. So, there you go. Electronics are done on this. Let's move on. Alright. Well, with moving the saddles around a little bit, some creative refiling of the slots here to clean things up. Thankfully, they had also cut some of the slots crooked, so I could play with that and line them up a little bit. We actually have the strings within 10,000ths of each other width-wise now, which I'm going to call that a win. And move on to the next problem. I'm going to be inserting this 16,000ths thick clear plastic shim into the neck pocket on the base side here of the neck. I've started it just so you can see what we're doing. I've sanded it for two reasons. One, so you can see it because it is clear plastic, and two, to taper the rear of it slightly because it actually needs to be thicker in the front than it does in the back. So we're going to slide this in the cavity, pull the neck over, tighten it up, and it should come out straight. There. Love it when a plan works out. We have another 16,000ths plastic shim in the neck pocket now. And you notice I put the shim across the rear neck screw holes, not behind it, not in front of it, and I did not fill up the entire cavity with the shim. We're trying to change the angle here, not raise the whole neck. Oh, here's a new wrinkle I just ran into. There you go. Probably just a matter of tightening up some screws here, but really, guys? Jeez. Okay. Carry on. Well, there we go. We have a bass finished. Took just under 2 hours. Keep in mind we had to replace that jack, clean the electronics, fix a pot, put some new foam into the pickups, clamp the bridge, move some saddles, clean up some saddle slots, refile some of those, do a quick fret dress on it, had to cut the nut. Of course, all that was after we got the neck adjusted. It had a huge bow in it. Like I say, I'd let that settle a few days to get a jump on it. But at this point, we're all good. This bass plays great. completely functional. All the controls work. There's no noise. It is studio ready. So there you go. Till next time, play nice. I'll see you later.